If I asked you to name some K-pop artists, who comes to mind? Maybe you'd mention like BTS or Blackpink, but there's more to it than the big names. You might even throw it back to like Gangnam Style with Psy, but you know, there's more to K-pop than just the music side of things. A while ago, I did this video where I listened to BTS for a week, and within the response of that video, this name Stray Kids kept popping up, so I figured I might as well go and check them out. So, for the next 7 days, I'm gonna listen to nothing but Stray Kids so I can figure out who they are, what their music is like, what they stand for, and honestly, why so many people love them. Okay, so you might not know anything about Stray Kids, so let me break it down for you. They were a product of a show titled Stray Kids, created by JYP Entertainment in 2017. They have 9 members, well, 8 now, and they have 5 studio albums, 14 EPs, and 4 compilation albums. And they are known worldwide for their self-produced music, lyrics about finding their identity, and their musical style, which is influenced by hip-hop, dubstep, heavy metal, and dance pop. They have done many things regarding philanthropy, and they've even been listed in Time's Next Generation Leaders due to their global impact. And I mean, sure, there's probably more than that, but I think that's good enough to get us going. So basically, the plan is to listen to each song or each album in release order all the way through once before I go back and listen to another song twice, or any song twice. There's a train coming. Nice. Basically, if it's on Spotify, I'm gonna listen to it. I made a playlist, and after each album, I'll give my initial favorites, and then after listening to everything, I'll give my favorite albums and songs from all of their music. I'll also try to even make some kind of creative social media post using one of their songs. And it should go without saying that I'm reading some translated lyrics because Miyan he yohan gomao tayo moteo. I'm not even gonna tell you how many times it took me to try to pronounce that.
You can't catch me, not one I'm swerving on these wannabes, they can't beat me, I'm perfect.
Now, I don't know the last time I've done this, like running without music, but I'm going all in. And I'm not gonna listen to it because I don't know what they're saying, and to be able to focus and read the lyrics and the beat, listen to all the beat and all that, I'm just gonna run without music. I feel like that's just the best thing to do. Okay, no lie, from like a running perspective, running without music was a lot better than I thought it was. Like for me personally, like obviously I listen to music, but when you're not listening to music, it allows you to think more about just random thoughts. But basically I'm just saying I should try that more often. But for now, back to Stray Kids. It was a Saturday, and I ended up doing a bunch of stuff with my family, so I really didn't get to focus and start listening to Stray Kids until later in the day while I was doing the dishes specifically. And I only got through the first 2 albums, or EPs in this case, Mixtape and I Am Not. For Mixtape, give me Elevator, Beware, Spread My Wings, and Ya 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 as an honorable mention. From what I read and what I understand, I guess, this album, or this mixtape rather, was from the show Stray Kids. And this is the part where I have to explain what goes through my mind when I'm listening to songs with lyrics that are foreign to me. There's like this balance of how the song sounds and what the lyrics say. In other words, a song can sound amazing and the lyrics can be trash, and vice versa. Anyway, for I Am Not, I have District 9, Awaken, Grow Up, and Rock and Mirror as honorable mentions. And I know this is like the only second record that I've listened to so far, but I can already get this vibe of like, I'm a teenager trying to figure out my life through hardship kind of thing. All right, today my main goal is to make it through these next 2 albums or mixtapes. I think it's the I Am Not Who, I Am Not You, whatever the second 2 out of the 3 are. I also just realized like how busy I am this upcoming week. And so I'm like, was it a good idea to try to fit all, like listening to all these songs and whatnot? But I think I can do it. It'll be close most likely, but I think I can do it. I felt like this album was a little more groovy or a little more energetic. Maybe it was the mood that I was in, I don't know. With I Am Who, I really liked My Pace, Question, and Insomnia, with MIA and Awkward Silence as an honorable mention. The song My Pace is a good reminder to, well, go at your own pace. Meaning that like, if someone got where you wanna be quicker than you, it doesn't mean that you have to expedite your process. Sometimes you just need to take things at your pace. And the last thing I'll say about this record is the song Awkward Silence was like a feel-good, happy kind of song. Switching over to IMU, give me NS, I don't know how to say the actual name, Get Cool, then IMU. And I ain't even gonna lie to you, the song Get Cool kind of reminded me of Broccoli by Dram featuring Lil Yachty, and it could just have been the piano in the song.
do find interesting is that from the first three, the I am not, whatever, going into the, I don't even know how to say it, but let's just say Miro. I feel like there's like a big aggressive change. But then going from Miro to like Yellowwood, I feel like they kind of, you know, they had the party vibes, but then they kind of chilled out, you know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to see what the third one, I can't remember the name right now, but I'm interested to see what the third one is like in comparison to those other two.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
What's up, man? Is it raining?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You ever heard the band Stray Kids?
No.
No? Okay.
Stray Kids.
Stray Kids. I was just curious.
Myro just had me jamming in my car because like that's the energy that it brought. At least that's what I felt like. So for that reason, it's number one, followed by Victory Song and 19 with Boxer and Maze of Memories as honorable mentions. I like the calmness of 19 and how the lyrics talk about those new phases in life. Even though like being 19 years old, to me, in my opinion, is just kind of that weird age. For the rest of the day, I did manage to get through Yellowwood and Levanter since they're both fairly short. On Yellowwood, I really only have mixtape 4, Side Effects, and mixtape 2. Again, I was jamming to the song Side Effects, just partying by myself. And then I like to switch up with mixtape 2 and the overall acoustic feel and how it talks about making difficult decisions. Switching over to Levanter, I chose Double Knot, Booster, You Can Stay, and Astronaut as an honorable mention. I almost put You Can Stay at number 1 just because of the lyrics. I just felt like the meaning of the song, or at least my interpretation, was different than the self-reflection, self-identity, empowerment type of lyrics. Also, this kind of goes without saying, but if there's any information or any references that I'm missing, obviously I don't fully understand the Korean culture, so if there's anything I'm missing, please let me know. Just be nice. Hi, we're in the car again, and you might be thinking like, man, this man just stays in the car. But the reality is, I'm married, I have a son, and so like, getting alone time to listen to music, I gotta plan accordingly. So because I'm going in the office almost every day, like being in the car, that's when I can listen to the music the most. Like I do wanna have a session where I'm just kinda like just chilling, got some headphones on, maybe close my eyes, I don't know. But either way, let me just like kinda say I'm enjoying it so far. Like I didn't think I was gonna be miserable or anything. I haven't been anytime I do one of these music things, but I mean, I didn't have any expectations really. I was just worried about my whole, like, in my mind, low-key comparing them to BTS or any other K-pop person that I've heard before, but obviously mainly BTS because I've listened to all of their songs. I haven't finished listening to the album Go Live yet, but man, that song God's Menu, it got me. Lyrics pending, of course. How you doing back there? I started this day with Go Live, even though I kept calling it Go Live at first. And let me just say that that album is definitely my favorite one so far. God's Menu was my number 1, followed by Ta and Airplane, with Easy and Mixtape Gone Days and Haven as honorable mentions. With the help of reading the lyrics, the song God's Menu is like a declaration of whatever we cook for you, it will satisfy you. In other words, they can make music that fits your style. It was also at this time that I realized that this was also their first full album. I don't know if that contributes to why I like it so much, but Changbin even said this. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Throughout the rest of the day, I ended up listening to 2 more records, In and All In. With the second half of In, it was the same as Go Live because it was a repackaged album with 8 new songs. So out of those 8 songs, I chose Backdoor, We Go, and Any with Wow as an honorable mention. I do love the carefree vibes of the lyrics of the song We Go, but I will also say this is when I realized and learned, I guess I should say, about the subunits of Stray Kids. This album featured 3 Racha, Dance Racha, and Vocal Racha. I don't know why I'm so energetic. Moving over to All In, which was their debut Japanese studio EP. So I guess technically there were only 3 songs that were new to me, but as I was listening to it, it was just cool because I'm in the process of learning Japanese. So I was like sitting there listening to the song and trying to learn or trying to recognize a word or 2 that I might have known. Out of those 3 songs though, I would choose Fam, One Day, then All In. This also brings up the question of, do you prefer listening to the song in its original language, or do you prefer like Korean or Japanese in this case? Honestly, overall, I was just glad that I got to listen to God's Menu again. Today was another general day of me going to work. How exciting. But I did manage to listen to No Easy, Stray Kids 2021, and Ordinary. Some of it was during my commute, some of it was while I was cleaning, and some of it was during a listening session while reading lyrics. And let me just say that I originally went to genius.com for lyrics, but they didn't really have English translations for a lot of songs. So I somehow found this site called Letras, Hopefully I'm saying that right, but it's been helpful through this entire process, assuming that everything's right. Anyway, I'm just gonna go through these very quickly. For No Easy, give me Sick, Domino, Surfin', and Thunderous as an honorable mention. I'll also add that the song Cheese gave me like a Panic at the Disco kind of vibe. As I started listening to Stray Kids 2021, I was like, I heard these songs before. And so I did some digging, and then I realized that these were like re-released songs without Woo Jin in them, and I was like, dang, that's crazy. And so I started to dig why he left in the first place, and then all I got was that he left due to personal circumstances. All right, with Ordinary, I have Maniac, Freeze, Venom, and Charmer as an honorable mention. Honestly can't tell if I fully like the song Venom yet, but I do like that the ad-libs remind me of Venom, the movie, you know? And even though I didn't mention this song, I do like the flow of the song Muddy Water.
Relly.
Thank you. What y'all know about Coffee and Stray Kids, boy? All right, let me just go ahead and say that Case 143 is my favorite song from Maxident with 3 Racha in taste. 3 Racha in my mind was like if you take the rapper Designer and a rapper from the UK and combine them together, that's what you get, but I loved it. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm also at the point right now where I feel like randomly I just need to be like, Stray Kids! What do they call their fans, by the way? Stay. That's it. It's just Stay. I then found out that Stray Kids Replay was the album that I was expecting at some point, meaning that each member had their own song. And for the sake of time, I just took all the songs from this album, which were technically 2 discs, so maybe 2 albums, whatever. All 25 songs, and I ranked them. But I chose I Hate to Admit, Maknae on top. I think that's how you say it. I heard it throughout the song, but I can't remember. Whatever. Streetlight with Doodle, I Got It, and Zone as honorable mentions. I Hate to Admit It is like that strong ballad type of song that I kind of been looking for. I mean, I know they have a lot on this album, and just throughout the rest of their discography, but I really like this one. By the end of the day, I started listening to the sound, but I didn't get through it because I had to get ready for the next day. I had a 5.5 hour flight that left at 7 a.m. and I had every intention of finishing the album, The Sound, but I'm gonna be honest, I fell asleep on the plane. Now, this was also their first full Japanese album, and so I had heard some of the songs before, but out of the ones that I didn't hear before, I have Battleground, There, and Don't Let Me Love You. I gotta say though, I was proud of myself because I was learning Japanese. I was able to say Soreku, or whatever. At least I was able to read it. And because of that, I knew what song it was the Japanese version for. And it actually made me realize that I like that song a lot better than the first time I listened to it. So I'm in Vegas for work, and my original goal was to finish all of the Stray Kids albums before I got here, or at least on the way here. Because today's Friday, and that is technically the last day of the full week. But because I didn't finish, I was already, based off of how the week was going, I was already like planning on giving it a couple extra days so I can like just listen to a shuffle playlist of all their music. And I'm just gonna be honest, tomorrow I'm running a marathon, and in my head, I was planning on finishing the Stray Kids music challenge before then, because this marathon that I'm doing, I really wanna like lock in and try, not necessarily do my best, but I just wanna run to the music I'm familiar with. So tomorrow, during the marathon only, I'm gonna listen to my typical running playlist. And then when I get back to the room or throughout the rest of, I'll say Saturday, Sunday, maybe Monday, I'll get back to Stray Kids. So I'm just being honest. However, look at this view. While unpacking, I made it through the album 5-star, and I think I found my favorite lyrics so far. But first, my top 3 were Get Lit, S-Class, and Super Bowl, with Top Line and Hall of Fame as honorable mentions. So, back to my favorite lyric that has been stuck in my head for a while. It's from the song Super Bowl, and it's finger licking, yeah, we cooking up a Super Bowl. In the kitchen, Michelin, irresistible. I don't know why, I just thought it was funny the first time I heard it. It was also one of, if not the only one so far, where all of the words in that song were already in English. To finish off this long day, I listened through Rockstar, and I loved La 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 La, Megaverse, and Social Path, and I had Cover Me as an honorable mention. By the end of the marathon, I was so exhausted. Like I didn't even listen to music for the rest of the day. But I will say I had the song Freeze on my running playlist, and it did play while I was running. So I was like, hey. But I was looking forward to the album 8 because I knew that they had arguably their most popular song, well, maybe right now, Chick Chick Boom. So while I was getting ready this morning, I finished the album 8, and I like the songs Runners, I think, Chick Chick Boom, and Mountains. I feel like I'm gonna give that song Chick Chick Boom. I feel like I'm saying it wrong for some reason. Another listen at some point, because if it's that popular of a song, then I'm missing out on something. Obviously, with all these songs, I can think of them, you know, music videos, performances, and all that kind of stuff, and I'm sure it would be amazing. But just from listening and looking at lyrics, that's all I got so far. After looking at my notes again, I actually have Runners, Chick Chick Boom, then Jam or J Jam with Mountains as an honorable mention. And I'm sure that Chick Chick Boom will grow on me, but that's what I got right now. And I eventually got through the rest of the albums during my downtime at this conference or convention. I even had a chance to create a video using one of their songs, so if you want to see what song I chose, head on over to my Instagram or TikTok. And for a quick speed round on the album Giant, this is when I realized that Chick Chick Boom was actually a bop, and it only took me to the Japanese version to figure that out or realize that. But here we are. But as far as my top 3 goes, I chose Y, Giant, and Falling Up. And moving over to Hop, I have Walking on Water, Railway, You, and Unfair as an honorable mention. And then last but not least, their latest mixtape, Dominate, I have Truman, Burning Tires, and Escape with Cinema as an honorable mention, because randomly I'll just be like, this is my cinema. Let me be your cinema. Okay, overall, I think the group Stray Kids is a group that is super talented, especially the fact that they have like in-house producers and songwriters. They got range is what I'm trying to say. Throughout all of their albums, I can sense this general theme of like self-identity, fighting adversity, and just overall unity. I'll also add that they definitely aren't afraid to experiment musically while staying true to themselves. So picking my top 3 songs was actually kind of difficult. So whenever I would go back to listen to whatever, I found myself going to songs like God's Menu, La La La, Thunderous, Case 143, 3 Racha, Airplane. Yeah, you get the point. So as of right now, meaning these could change, my top 3 songs are God's Menu, Get Lit, and Thunderous or Soda Coop with 3 Racha, I Hate to Admit, and La 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 as honorable mentions. Honestly, they just have a lot of good songs, and as I was listening to the This Is Stray Kids playlist on Spotify, of course I ended up hearing songs that weren't necessarily on their album, so like a lot of singles like Slash or even the song All My Life, when they were on the remix of that song. Because I only listened through the albums and the mixtapes, if I had to rank them all, my top 3 would be Go Live, No Easy, then Maxident. These, along with my top 3 songs, are subject to change, but they're pretty locked in right now. Again, if I miss some specific songs or albums or just random facts that I should know, please let me know. And to answer the question that I was already thinking of, would I go see them in concert? Yes, because I'm sure the choreography would be top tier. I wouldn't be expecting any kind of disappointment. Now, because I only took a deep dive into one other K-pop artist, or group rather, BTS, it made me just think like, would they ever make a song with BTS or any of their members? Have they made a song with them? Or is that just a no-no in the K-pop world? Let me know what artists and genre I should do next.
Sunday morning views quickly turns to afternoons. It's like that I can barely go and catch it, kinda how I feel with you.